waiting. It's preparing to live stream on YouTube.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
I can. How's your hubby?
Okay, hold on. I gotta now.
Hubby. How's Rob?
He's not good, Carol. How can you hear me?
Yes.
But I can't get my screen back up. Oh, there. Can you see me now? I can see you.
Well, I could always see you.
Okay, we are live on live stream YouTube. So um I'll I'll have to fill you in later, but
Okay, yeah, let's.
yeah. Hi, Sarah.
Oh, yeah, Sarah.
Sarah's on with me on Zoom.
Oh, Sarah's on, yeah, okay, we have 7. Rearrange.
And so is Brittany. Hi, Brittany.
Okay, Brittany too.
Hi, everyone.
I'll get some of those. Okay, thank you.
We are on, just for Brittany and Sarah, we are already on live streaming just because I was trying to do it remotely.
You have 8 members. Really hungry. No, I wouldn't have either. No, I wouldn't. No, I almost forgot. I'll never know. I just thought I already got here something. Clean up before I'm in the meeting. Especially green things, right? I like the flavor. I love how I store it there. And how they find you and really help you. And of course, me and my supervisors like can't slip, can't see the other. And like you with the mask and made it worse. Oh my goodness. But even sometimes like it was like the end, I'll just be like. So I think one of them were like, "Want to eat this?" And like, "Yeah, I ate it like a rest of the time." And one time I was in a raw potato, like, I'm like, "Eat this," and I'm like, "Sure." I'm done. But if you make it, it tastes like nothing. Like just there's potato, but it tastes like potato, but toast and or not food or more. Okay. And one of my friends.
Kathy, can you hear us?
I'm like, okay.
I can hear everyone.
Okay, welcome everyone. It's Wednesday, June 11th, and we're here for our historic sites meeting. We're going to call the meeting to order. I think I'll start with the land acknowledgement. We acknowledge with respect that we are meeting in Robinson-Huron Treaty Territory, that the land on which we are gathered is the traditional territory of Anishinaabe, known as Pewaukee. Pewaukee is the home of Garden River First Nation, Batchewana First Nation, and the Historic Sault Ste. Marie Métis Council. Does anyone have a conflict of interest with today's agenda? None noted. Adoption of the agenda. We need someone to motion to approve the agenda for today, June 11th.
Yeah.
David,
Second.
Carol.
Yeah.
Seconder. All in favor? Carried. Adoption of the minutes, last meeting was April 9th. And we do have copies attached for the people that were here. We need someone to motion to approve April 9th meeting.
I'll move Heather.
Heather. Seconder. Jamie. All in favor? Carried. And number 5 item is the business arising.
I wasn't in attendance, but I don't think so, unless anyone else has something.
Add. Last. Okay. We'll move on. Accounts. You have a copy of the accounts in your package.
Madam Chair, I can just make a couple comments on the printout that was for, I think, ending April 30th. It's the only glaring things that I noticed is I have to do some research on the maintenance line to see what I have probably charged incorrectly. And the other was the purchases at the gift show for that's for resale, items for resale. And that by year end always has a net value after revenues. And the Historic Sites Board is able to transfer those net revenues to the trust fund at year end. But because they went to the gift show and did a lot of ordering, even right through for Christmas, that's why that account's a little high right now. Those were the only glaring things that I noticed. But if you have any questions.
Any comments or Jamie?
I have a comment, and it doesn't have to do with this file, but are you going to be able to supply the Hudson's Bay company merchandise from Canadian Tire in the future?
Probably not.
Okay, I was just curious. I heard about that in the media. So. Okay.
It'll be something I can look into, but right at this moment, I haven't heard from Hudson Bay is not answering any calls or questions or emails.
Early days, so yeah.
I guess all of it's sold. I guess we have none left.
There's slim pickings probably in our gift shop.
Was there anything in our gift shop?
There were some mints and socks and stuff.
Other comments or questions about the expenditures and? A motion to approve the expenditures as reported year to date, April 30th. Carol will second. Oh, Heather. All in favor? Carried. Well, next, Kathy, we have the curator's report.
So, Madam Chair, I can start if you'd like. I'll just go through each item on the agenda. So the first is CMOG, and CMOG means the Community Museum Operating Grant. And with that, the ministry, I call it the Ministry of Culture, but that's not their new name. Um, they have standards for community museums, and this year's standards that we must meet is the digital strategy and digital plan. And so the work that I've been doing is all in your agenda package. The digital strategy was completed well over a year ago by consultants. We received funding through a grant to hire the consultants to take us through that. So that was already done and completed well in advance. And so we pretty well had met the standard over a year ago. But the further details are they would like to see, the ministry would like to see us have a plan now to take that strategy into action. And so looking at the plan, the procedures, and updating any policies that could be affected. So as you can see in the package, I've taken the digital strategy sort of outcomes that we would like to see, and I've put them into a plan. I've started to break those down even further, especially because the ministry is looking at digitization as a major project in the digital plan. And then I have also looked at all our policies. I did not update them for that particular policy. All I did was insert anything that needed to be inserted for the digital plan. So I went through every one of them and added where digital plan needed to be inserted. And really, each of those just says, please refer to the digital plan. So that was a lot of work that had to be put in for your approval. All of this is to be sent to the ministry when we apply for our annual operating grant in the with the application on the Grants Ontario portal. We've always every year met the standards. We get evaluations back. If for those that were on our previous board of directors, we had some major projects like emergency and evacuation plans, and everything always comes back 10 out of 10 for our thoroughness and execution. So I'm hoping that I've got us to that mark again for this year. In review, did anyone have any questions on any of those? I took a lot of what Sarah commented on the digital plan and strategy, and Jamie. And I hope I've changed a few things to meet what your questions were last round.
Okay, sorry, I'm looking at this for the, if this is different, it's going to take in an email this is.
In the email, is that the same as the email that was sent?
Or is it updated?
So the agenda package is the most latest
Okay.
policy and plan.
My question, I think, was about community partners that were supposed to be in an appendix. Are they there now?
No,
Oh.
sorry. They will be. It's basically a list, and we list all our community partners. So Algoma Country, Tourism Sault Ste. Marie, the 4 culture museums, and the art gallery, and then everything from Ontario Travel and just the Algoma District School Board, Huron Superior, like complete list of partners.
Well, I guess the question is I didn't hear you say library, so is it on the list?
Oh yeah, they're on the list.
Okay, that's my question. Thank you, Kathy.
So, no, any further questions on CMOG and the application? The actual application form is with senior management and finance because they have to do their part in the application. And when it's approved at that level, it will also be uploaded. It's everything from our annual report, so it's all those statistics, key performance indicators, and our finances. No, nothing on CMOG then?
When we move on to user fees, Kathy, or?
Well, I put in there that I am working on them because we, as you know, the Historic Sites Board has final approval on user fees, operations budget, capital asset. Those are all coming sooner than we think. So I'm started working on the draft documents, but nothing for today's meeting. If they're in your binders or in any of the information you have, if you look at any of those things and want to take a look for our first draft round, by all means, I'm open to comments and suggestions.
I have questions.
Andrew, go ahead.
I hope you can hear me, Kathy.
A little, yes, a little bit.
Okay, so user fees, I know you're always on top of this, but are we missing any unique user fees that other historical sites use, incorporate that we should be considering? Or I always wonder if there's something else that we might be missing. Again, you're always on top of this, but I'm just curious.
I haven't actually looked at all the user fees at other museums. Locally, I think we've got more user fees than others. We charge for everything. So, and we actually compile some of our user fees. So here's an example. If a group tour comes in and they want the full, an example is Road Scholar. They come in, they want to do a tour, they want dinner, they want the historic interpreters, all of that. So they get multiple fees. And the same with Pearl Seas, the cruise ships. When we do the land excursions and we take them by bus out to Hogan's and then come back to us for pancake lunch, they get multiple fees. So the fees in our structure are per item. It's like going grocery shopping, and we just keep adding things to their cart as they purchase our services. So I think it was easier to do that than to have a group package. We'd have a lot of user fees then. But I will check on other museums in the province to see what they're charging for.
I don't want it to be a lot of work for you, I was just curious. The cruise ships, do they receive a discount? Have they been asking for a discount?
We have a group tour admission fee. That's what when they ask each year, that's what I provide them.
Okay. Okay, that's all, thank you.
Jamie has a question.
Yes, I think I've asked this question before, but it's probably been a couple of years. Is there any sort of school of thought that asking for a donation ends up with greater revenue than if you charge admission to a museum?
We've had days where it's by donation instead of charging, like open festival days. And it's hard to say. But on an average day, visitors don't mind paying. We haven't had anyone tell us that, oh, I thought it'd be by donation. We haven't had that. The only, the only conflict we seem to get is when they come and they think we're a National Historic Site with Parks Canada and they have the Parks Canada pass. But on like by donation, that's, I haven't had, I can't really answer that question. The days that we get by donation and we have someone sitting at the front with the donation box, we do okay. But I think it's just comparable.
I just wonder whether the amount they donate is higher than what they would have paid in admission.
No, it's
Okay.
about the same. Like a family will come in and they'll drop a 20
Okay,
and that's less than family rate.
okay, oh, interesting.
So it averages out though. Sorry, just back to Jamie, like an adult may come in and put a 20 in as well. So it's just on those festival days that we do that.
Or doors open or something like that.
Yeah, we like Fall Rendezvous is supposed to be free of charge. And Ontario Culture Days, they all of those things. So we just say pay as you can or by donation.
Okay. That may be promoted a bit more to local tourists. Because they may not heard of it.
And maybe I can interject right here now too. We're starting next week with a new For Culture Pass, and it will be available for anyone, local or tourists, to purchase admission to all 4 sites. And the Bush Plane is handling everything. They are the ones that can sell it online. Once we all get up and rolling, like where we're going to be starting on our new website, everything will be linked. At Bush Plane, we have a legal agreement with them, and so does the other 3 attractions, and we will be auditing the statement so that the Bush Plane is doing it all for us. They're selling the passes, they're doing the financial end of it, and it'll be at a year end, sort of after Thanksgiving time when we reconcile and see how well we've done. We used to sell it on Tourism to St. Marie's website, and they don't have the capability anymore. So we're trying it on our own as a group of 4. And so we will be all promoting it. You'll see it on our social media, and posters will be up at the front desk for this group attraction pass admission this season. Do you want? Yep, go ahead.
Is there more on item 2 to share, like?
Nothing more on item 2 on my reports.
So we go on to the grants, like summer student.
This is to just basically advise you, we were approved for Young Canada Works, a summer employee, summer experience program, summer employee. And in the works right now is a Métis student for basically for about 6 weeks later this summer. And we also have applied for an extension on our FedNor intern. And also we've applied for the extension on our FedNor projects. Just because the announcement of funding came so late that our timeline in the application is almost over. So they know, and FedNor is coming for a visit to see how things are going too. So. And on that, the blockhouse heaters are being, the installation will be starting, I would think around the 24th, 25th of June. And that contract's been awarded. It went out for tender and Virginia and I met with the contractors on site that were bidding. We're going to have to look at hiding the new equipment with, we talked about different ways to wrap the unit, maybe built on the outside. There's always a structure of the, or a motor. And so we're looking at how to build a log facade around it, those kinds of things, so that no one will really see the new modern heater and air conditioners in the blockhouse. There's going to be one on the main floor and one on the second. So that's happening, and it probably won't take them long to install them, which is great because it gets really hot in July and August in the blockhouse. We went to tender on the AR component exhibits and bringing the augmented reality to especially getting Mr. Clerg up and going in a new way, new era, new technology. We're looking at Mr. Clerg, it's up in the air about Mr. Ermatinger because we don't know what he looks like. And then maybe Chief Shinwalk, but 3 big AR honors, I'll call them. So that contract went to tender, and Virginia, do you know if it's been awarded yet?
Yeah, it's been awarded, so we're just finalizing all the paperwork, so we'll be moving forward with that soon.
Yay, okay.
Approved by council at the last meeting.
And we have the contract, I think, in final stages for our web developers. So the 3 big projects with FedNor are about to begin. Is there any questions on any of that? If you, the first, actually just on the AR, we have finished the first phase of a little bit of it, and Dawn is working on getting our iPad working so FedNor can test it out for us maybe. But we have 15 QR code locations where we have what we call another way of telling our story steeped in stone. And so for people to use their phones, and we'll have an iPad ready as well. So that those are just completed and ready to start, and eventually the AR contract will translate them in French as well. And then, Madam Chair, I can just keep going.
Okay, on the staff programming events that are taking place, there's a lot of them.
Yeah, I want to publicly thank the staff for tackling all our big events, and big kudos to Alma for not quitting on us. Anyways, they've made it through the Mother's Day tea, Lilac and Lavender 2 weekends, and in between all of that, school tours, cruise ships, and the Road Scholar bus tours, and some other private tours. So the staff have been wonderful. They have been able to activate all our programming, and I just wanted to publicly thank them on that. It's been a busy month, and as we know, about the 3rd week of June, they're still swamped. They can catch their breath for July 1st. We did also begin summer season, so we're open 7 days a week now. And that goes till Thanksgiving. And some of those group tours are in the evening, so we have staff working a few times till 9 p.m. to do the private bookings. And as I said with grants, YCW, SEP, all of that, we have thankfully 3 staff on board for the summer, with 1 more to come, the Métis student. And we were able to extend with the SEP grant and Bradley to be full-time for the summer as well. Total then of 5 employees, which has really been helpful for all this busy schedule, what I'm trying to say.
Any comments or questions about what was talked about, Amy?
I attended the tea on the weekend and, Ian made an announcement about that you can book a tea for groups of 10. If you want to have a birthday party or something, so that went over very well in the room, people were excited.
But however, we get to say yes or no to the date.
Oh,
No, we do have some private bookings coming in for high tea. I think Sioux Area Hospital Foundation has booked one in and a few others, so it's nice to see that we're getting the private booking. So yeah, a group of 10 or more. I tell everyone that asks, you don't need 10, but we charge you for 10.
Yeah, it was a very popular announcement the day that I was there. So I imagine you're promoting that on Facebook and whatnot, you're marketing that option.
It will when we calm down. John doesn't like to saturate social media and Facebook with, well, that's social media, with too much. And right now we're trying to get the end of our Wedgwood exhibit and and get the word out for our summer camp. And so he's got quite the elaborate schedule for all our social media and what day and what time and yeah.
No, I try to like every event on there to boost up your statistics on Facebook, liking and sharing. Yeah.
So Kathy, the next part of it, do the members have to approve?
It's mainly the CMOG, because the CMOG wants to, the ministry would always like to have the minutes of this meeting with approval for us to apply and present any of the digital strategy plan and policies.
Okay, so a motion to approve the policies presented, and whereas the policies will be submitted along with the application for CMOG with the province. So we need someone to be the mover. Carol. And seconder Sandra. All in favor? Carried. And next on the agenda, if, I know there's members on the Municipal Heritage Committee, is there anything to share at this time?
Well, we have a busy summer too. For Virginia, the doors open, committee continues to exist, and we have a meeting coming up in July, and we're just starting to populate the portal with the sites that are preferred. Unfortunately, the list is not getting any shorter, so we're adding the Legion and the Armory and the Métis Cultural, the Métis Heritage Center. So we've got some new sites that are being added. And the sites from 2022 most of them are still participating. So Alicia Moore has worked out a communication plan that is amazing. So that will start rolling out in August. And Facebook and Instagram. The Heritage Booklet is, in the design process. We're about to add the photos to the booklet, and the plan is still to launch that during the October doors open event, so that's our timeline.
Yeah, we're hoping it will be printing in September and then launching for that October, so we still intend to send it back to HSB to have a chance to review. It'll probably come in a drive, just because the size of this document is extremely large, so it's all, especially now that all the photos are coming in. So Jamie's been working on selecting photos, for the document. It's gonna have, we're updating the ISB number, so we'll have a second edition, so
Yeah.
it's actually gonna be registered that way. And yeah, so we look forward to getting your feedback, so just keep an eye out for it coming,
Yeah,
coming weeks.
we're working
getting
on the
closer.
copyright permissions for the photo. One thing that was new that I'm excited about is that Nordic has a Hub Trail website that, and they're updating that, and they're adding an interactive map, and they're going to be including the properties and the monuments and possibly the heritage panels. And they have summer students, so over the next 12 weeks that will roll out, and the student gave me the link to it a couple days ago, so I can actually go in and tweak it myself. So it'll be a huge addition to the booklet. Like, she's excited that there's a new Jude Ortis is the professor at Nordic, and yeah, so I met with her, and we tried to not egg each other on, because the more we talk, the more we added to the project. But if that'll come out, I think that'll probably, the map, if Virginia and I approve it, will probably appear before the booklet, because the student's about halfway there. Yeah,
And it's really nice to have that information linked to that other tool, so it's just another way of sharing the history and all of those pieces of information with the community, so.
yeah,
It's nice the more places we can get that information.
yeah, they have cultural maps on the Nordic, on the Hub Trail website, but they're PDF files, they're not interactive. So Jude's idea is that you click on the pin and the text will open up and it will tell you about, the address and yeah, so it'll be great. I'm looking forward to it.
And then like, it's the only other piece was if anybody's interested in volunteering for Doors Open, we've got a call out, we're gonna be working on volunteers for all the locations, and we're determining which locations, how many volunteers to facilitate that event. I think we've got all of our walking tour volunteers in place, so we'll have 3 different walking tours as well as a heritage biking tour that someone's gonna lead for us, so some really neat options I think are coming together.
One of the walking tours will be, they're talking about doing a ghost walk. And that's an idea that I picked up in Stratford about 3 weeks ago. So Alex White is looking at the ghost walk idea. So I think, we've got a lot of new things happening with the Doors Open this year.
It's pretty impressive.
A lot of work.
And it's yes, well, yeah, that's true too.
I think though, it's every time we do it, we get a little bit better at it. I think it'll hopefully get a little bit easier. So, the first time around, we had to do all the documentation, all the handouts. So now it's just a matter of tweaking things a little bit, creating some new, but, we have a solid basis.
I don't know if you noticed when you came out of the Discovery Center, there was a table with 2 flyers on it. Those actually were part of the Doors Open event in 2022. So all of those flyers exist, and then we'll need to create about 3 to 5 more. One of the new sites is going to be potentially the Wabash Monument up on at the Legion, and the children at Shingwalk will be involved in that. And we might, if the Memorial Tower construction falls into place, we might be able to have that open and have volunteers from the Legion that are at that site talking about Listen Tours. And so there's, it's and the Armory has a museum and a library, which I didn't know. So I want to get into that building and see what that looks like. And I've already had my tour of the museum at the Legion, so there's a lot. Oh, it's just, I love being involved in this because I get the cook's tour of all the sites before the event. And we're going to try to have the chapel open and Bishop Parker Chapel open. So people can actually go in.
That's a bonus.
Well, if it works, with the contact, I'm still waiting to hear back, I haven't heard back, but yeah, it's all work in progress.
Thank you, Jean.
I was just gonna say, the Armories is like a hidden gem. That's him,
Mhm.
and you're right, I don't think many people realize.
I didn't know it was
Yeah.
one. No, the Last Post Museum.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's-
I've never been.
And the officers mess.
And the library has a digitization partnership with with the Wishart Library at Alcova U, so I want to learn more about that, so, yeah,
After the meeting, I'll give you a contact for the Armory Museum.
okay,
Yeah, it
thank
is,
you.
it is in the gym, yeah.
Yeah, still have a little.
It's like a guy museum, it was all kind of. But
Yes.
I was just gonna say. Sorry.
I started. I didn't realize I was even there, I was just a place. Like, kind of, not a base, but
No, I was just gonna say, that's a bonus for the Armories, because they're always looking at recruiting, and their mandate is to be open to the public. As you know, they have the 49th Senate, they always have 2 or 3 public members on it, trying to get the word out. So this is gonna fit their mandate perfectly.
That's
I
what I
really
was told.
thrilled.
Their face lit up when I went in there one morning. Yeah, it was fun.
Then linking it back to their museum here, because there's that relationship.
Yeah, the partnership is all there. There's about 4 sites that came out of my meeting with Pierre Breckenridge and with my contact with the Legion, so.
Awesome.
Yeah, and the Métis Cultural Center, Heritage Center, we wanted, they were on the list last time in 2022, but their renovation schedule didn't, work with our schedule, so they had to, that's all good. And some new residences that are going to be, part of the tour, some new heritage properties, and yeah, there's a lot going on.
Madam Chair, the Métis Cultural Center now has a curator and their exhibits are done in the museum section too, so
Yeah,
If-
I've
just contact them, Jamie, if you're looking at having them involved.
well, they're on it, yeah, I've got Mitch Case, and he's given me another name. And she's already given me text for the flyer and they're all over this, and they think, I think they're calling it, I think it's now the Métis Heritage Center. I think she asked me to take the word cultural out of the title, so I'd like to get in that building. Yeah, there's a lot of, there won't be enough time during the day to see all of them, but yeah, it's fun.
Thank you, Jamie. Is there any other business before we adjourn, Kathy?
I just wanted to let you know that we are activating the site with our local reenactors as often as we can, especially when we have the cruise ships here on site. So they alternate between the Royal Newfoundland, which is the Redcoats, and the Cour de Bois. And then we do have a couple volunteers coming on a regular basis. Sheila is a retired curator from Southern Ontario, and she's attends regularly to help us inside the house as well. So just wanted to let you know that we're up and running 7 days a week.
Thank you, Kathy. Any other questions before we adjourn? Sandra?
I just want, can we have a reminder when our next meeting is, please?
The next meeting is listed on, for September 10th.
It was supposed to be July, with no meeting in August. And I'm quite open to having a July meeting. I just don't know. We've had problems getting quorum in July. That's the only thing. would people like to have a July meeting or wait till September? If we wait till September, Virginia, is it too late for user fees and all of that? Do we have to have stuff in before then?
I can double check with finance. I think that's about the time we got them finalized last year.
Yeah.
So should be okay as long as it's finalized at the meeting on the 10th, because we can have the proposed fees as a placeholder. And then from there, if we need to make adjustments based on the recommendation of the committee members, we can adjust those particular fees.
Yep. So we can hold off. That what would happen is there would be probably a September, October, and November meeting. 3 in a row.
So we're gonna hold off then, or we're gonna try for July? Well, hold off, right, so September 10th.
Okay,
Motion to adjourn. David. Second, Jean. So that this committee now adjourned. Thank you, Kathy.
thanks.
And
I'm going to just turn off the YouTube for the official meeting and I'll stay on for general comment.